Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Jennifer's Scrapping Cane. Today I'm sharing a lake kit layout with you. This is an 8.5 by 11 layout using a kit that I put together almost 2 months ago now. And I'm almost finished up with it. I have a couple of photos of my dad and my older sister tubing down a river. And I'm going to use a lot of embellishments from Simple Stories Lakeside Vintage Lakeside. Yeah, that's what it's called. That's what these pieces are here. This is a foam piece that says my favorite place to be. And then these little wood veneer pieces are from Some Assemblage Required. And I'm going to use a couple of the leaves. I think I show all of them, but I'm really only going to use a couple of them. The other ones will go back into my stash. I think I used like 4 out of this pack. And then also the dragonfly that I just placed on top. That's also from Some Assemblage Required. And I have a few scraps. Since I've been working with the same kit for a while, I have lots of scraps left over, trying to use up my favorite pieces and basically get rid of whatever I can't use. Sorry, I'm a little tickle in my throat. That green and plaid paper is from Minte. The wood grain is also from Simple Stories. Their basic wood grain package came out a long time ago. I thought I was going to use this paper here. Actually, that one does not make it on the layout at all. The orange one, I use basically all of it I can possibly use. I threw away whatever was left. And you'll see in the layout, I did a pretty good job of using up that piece of paper. It was one of my favorites for sure. And then the gold scrippy font is going to be part of my title. These stickers here are from Echo Park, and I haven't used very many of them. I thought they were going to match, but they really don't. I do pull off a couple just to use, but it's okay. I have more papers to go with that collection, so I'll just put it back into my stash in the end. This one here is a Vicky Bouton pre-made mixed media sheet, and I should have deleted that part out of my video where I moved my camera, but anyways, that's going to be my background. But first, I'm going to paint my wood veneer pieces. This is the dragonfly that I'm painting here, and I'm painting it with Miner 49er is the gold, and then the brown is Penny for Your Thoughts. That's also what I'm putting on the leaf, and I didn't want it completely to cover all the parts of the leaves, but I did want some brown mixed with the green. And I zoomed in and then didn't realize that I put the dragonfly outside of the screen so you guys couldn't see it, so I brought it back in. And I'm using the Miner 49er to paint these little swiggly lines. I'm not sure what they were intended to be. I'm going to place them down by my title. But I just wanted to get them used. So I went ahead and used them on the layout the way that I felt that they went or that they looked the best, I guess. Not really how they went. I'm adding a little bit of water because this was turning out a little darker green than I wanted it to be. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of this lighter one, and this is Rita on the Rocks. These are all Shimmers paints, and I did add clear gesso to the wood veneer before I painted it, and that's just to help the Shimmers paint stay on top of the wood veneer and not soak into it. So there you can see I'm done with the wood veneer. I'm going to use Penny for Your Thoughts and do a few little splatters on my background before I place everything down. I believe I'll also splatter white acrylic paint. The white acrylic paint pretty much gets covered up. I don't even think you can see it in the close-ups. It was very small splatters, just like this one, but the brown you can actually still see. I got it in a lot of places where you can actually still kind of sort of see it. But I didn't get very big drops at all. And I was okay with it. I didn't really want it to overpower the background. I kind of just liked the green, and it matches the ephemera pieces in chipboard and the title piece, Lake Life, that I pick out. So Here I'm just doing the white acrylic paint. I just add a little bit of water to it and then splatter it around. And if you don't know, white acrylic paint splatters everywhere, but I'm okay with it. It's pretty much on the glass mat. I do get a few splatters on my phone every once in a while, but it wipes off. So not a big deal. So there we go. It's all dry, cleaned up my desk, and now I'm going to get ready to put the layout together. So here is the fishy paper, which was the orange paper, and I tore it up as many pieces as I possibly could to try to make it stretch across the 8.5 layout so that I could use it behind my photos. And most of the fish get covered up, which is okay, but I really wanted the orange because it helps the photo pop just a little bit more since my sister is wearing an orange life vest in the photos. In the other photo, it's kind of further away, so you really can't see them. But I think having the orange down at the bottom really helps pop it in the other photo also. So here I'm just using a little bit of vintage photo to distress the edges that I tore. And that's something that I like to do. Anytime that I tear paper, I usually distress the edges. So this wood grain one, I'm going to add across the page, and then I'll snip off the edges. I hadn't cut it down yet. So I want to go ahead and cut those off right away before I forget. And then I'm going to ink those up also. The whole entire layout around the edge is inked up with black ink, but it's just a line across it, so you really can't see it. Here I'm just piecing back together my orange pieces and my fish paper. And like I said, I just want the fish paper to be underneath the photos along with the orange. And I knew the bottom part of the orange was going to show even when I put the photo down, so I wanted to make sure it went all the way across. This piece here was actually not long enough to reach across the 8.5 by 11, but since I'm going to put my title piece right in the middle under the photo, it actually works out perfectly. And it'll be covered up, so you won't even be able to tell that that hole is actually there. And then these pieces here also, they're going to go behind the photo, so I just needed pieces on the left and right. As you can see, there's the photo, there's the title, and unfortunately my glare is covering it up. But you can see in the close-ups, you definitely cannot tell where those papers don't meet. I like when that happens and it works out perfectly. The chipboard piece, I did peel off a layer of it, and that was just to make it a little bit thinner since I'm going to put the foam title over the top of it. Or actually, it's kind of like just the corner of it, but I didn't want it to like not be level on the layout, so I just peeled the chipboard piece off. This little card here I loved from the other paper. I did cut it off and inked it up and used a border punch to punch out the top so it looks like a notebook paper. And I'm just going to place that behind the photo, and that was just to give a little something else. I'm not going to put anything journaling or anything like that on it. I really don't have any journaling for any of these layouts, except for this was something that Tammy, my older sister, the middle child, um, she went with my dad a lot more than I did or my older sister. And that was by choice, not pretty much I was kind of too young to go by myself with him because I wasn't as independent as she was. So I just didn't always go. Usually I went if her and I would go together, but not by I don't think I ever went with him by myself, just me, but she did go with him quite a few times by herself. And also I would go to New Mexico with my mom and my other sister who's older than Tammy, and Tammy would stay behind with my dad. So Tammy would go camping with my dad and go to work with him. He was a auctioneer, professional auctioneer, and he used to work at an auction at night, but he would take her with him. So, she would have to sit either on the auction block, which we sat on the auction block all the time with him, or, playing with her friends or whatever around the auction house and waiting for him to finish up the auction. But like I said, she was a little bit older, so she was able to, be a little bit more independent, so he would take her. I don't know if this photo is actually one of those times where it was just him and her, and it looks like there's a friend in the photo, in the other photo that's up top. And he used to go fishing with his friends and camping, so it might have been one of those times. So, but again, I don't really have any journaling except for something like that, and I'll probably just put it on the back that this was something that she did with her dad often. I do have a photo of myself with him tubing. I don't have any photos of my oldest sister tubing with him, but she was not a very big fan of camping. She would go camping with us every once in a while, especially when she was younger, when she was under the age of probably 12. Once she was 13, teenage years, it was a big protest. And she just did not like camping because, you can't do your hair and makeup just as well when you're out camping. Now you can because, you have a lot more options for to get your hair supplies and blow dryers and curling irons and all that stuff. But back then, we were living on the lake. We didn't have running water. There was nothing. We were at a campsite, but we didn't have um, a lot of the amenities that you have nowadays. So she did not like going camping. But again, here on the layout now, I'm putting sequins down. These are from Spiegelmom Scraps, and the sequin mix that I'm using is Bookish. And Bookish is available in the shop right now. You can use my code Jennifer15 at any time to get sequins from Spiegelmom Scraps. And I placed them all down at the bottom around the title. I also used the gold thicker letters that are a scripty font that says Lake Life with Dad, Best Memories, because that is some of our best memories is going camping with him. And here I'll show you a few close-ups. Just a minute, I'm going to hold it up so you can see a little bit closer to it. I got to get better at holding it up to the camera. I always think I'm going to be a little bit too close, but actually I probably could be a little bit closer. But I do have a few close-ups for you guys, and hopefully you enjoyed the layout. I will have another layout for tomorrow, and this layout was also for Scraptember, and the prompt for today is diagonal. I didn't really do a diagonal layout, but I did lay my photos at a kind of funky diagonal angle, and I'm going to say that that's part of the prompt. But I just wanted to get another layout done for Scraptember. See you in the next video. Bye!